is Joy News Prime.
Hello and welcome to Joy News Prime. Coming up, Power Ministry blames Ghana Gas for increased load shedding, but Ghana Gas says the ministry got it wrong. Some losers in the weekend primaries of the National Democratic Congress head to court to challenge the results, but the party says it is looking into their grievances even as it considers a review of the entire process. Meanwhile, the veteran MP for Ningo Pram Pram, who was defeated in the weekend's contest, is demanding an apology from the winning candidate, Sam George, if he is to respond favorably to his overtures.
And in business, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ASAP, warns Ghana's oil sector heads for doom if Parliament continues to sign contracts with inexperienced oil companies.
And Abigail will be joining me with the business in about 30 minutes. Also in the bulletin, Inspector General of Police visits Cape Coast following recent disturbances which resulted in the death of 2 people. We also have sports, entertainment, and Joy News Interactive, all coming up over the next 2 hours of this bulletin, which is also available across Europe on ABN Television on the Sky platform as well as Freeview Connect. Stay tuned. In our very first story, the Old Students Association of Achimota School is demanding a suspension of all land sales and what it describes as illegal constructions on lands belonging to the school. In a petition presented to the Flagstaff House, members of the association said the school is helpless in stopping encroachments on its property.
According to the Achimota Old Students Association, vast tracts of land belonging to the school have in the past decade been placed under very severe threats following encroachment and illegal activities. Private developers, churches and individuals have targeted the lands earmarked for school projects. Describing the situation as a national security threat, a member of the association, Dr. Soji Tete, indicated that 4 murder cases have been recorded on the school compound in the last 3 months alone. School property, including a renovated kitchen, have also been vandalized by unknown persons. The Achimota Old Students Association are therefore appealing to the president, who attended Achimota Primary, to intervene.
You may be aware that sometime in July of this year, eviction notices were actually served on 2 teachers of the school that they should quit staff bungalows so that they could then go ahead and develop. Now there are, I would say, 3 main things that we are looking out for at this moment. We are seeking that government is going to place a moratorium on all sales, development and registration of Achimota school land. The second key thing that I would outline has to do with governments being able to order a comprehensive investigation into all previous transactions on Achimota school land, sales and encroachment that have happened, so we get a better insight and then also get to demarcate the borders of the school very clearly as a way of securing it. And the third thing has to do with prosecuting all individuals and business entities that have encroached upon the land or that have engaged in illegal sale of Achimota school land. So I would say these are the 3 key things that were outlined in the various petitions that we submitted.
The association also petitioned Parliament, the Ministry of Education, Attorney General's Department, as well as the Lands Commission, to stop the issuance of permits and registration of such lands belonging to the Achimota school. Members of the association are hoping that government will act sooner than later on their petition. Matilda Humaga for Joy News.
Despite several interventions by governments and civil society groups, gender-based violence continues to be a major problem in a lot of Ghanaian communities. On Tuesday, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection launched the annual 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence, with the focus on making school environments safe, especially for teenage girls. And Ondame has more.
Parents, treat your families right. You are teaching your sons how to treat their wives, and your daughters what to expect from their husbands.
That's the key message for this year's 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Celebrated across the world, Ghana has chosen the theme From Peace in the House to Peace in the World, Make School Safe for All. Speakers at the launch of the campaign reiterated the need for teenagers, especially girls, to be protected from men who seek to take advantage of them. For Gender Minister Nana Oyelitha, cases of teenage pregnancy in the country will continue to increase unless laws against rape and defilement are strictly enforced.
Teenage pregnancy. It is a major challenge we are grappling with in Ghana, and it truncates the girl child's education. The proportion of teenagers who have begun having children rises rapidly with age. We must stop this in Ghana.
National Coordinator of DOSU, ACP Habiba Chumisi Sapon, revealed cases of violence against women and girls rise each year. In 2014, for instance, out of the over 17,000 reported cases at the unit, 17,000 were against women. She promised her unit will continue to punish perpetrators.
And over 90% of our received cases are against the female, that is women and girls. We, at the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit of the Ghana Police Service, are ever ready and continue to support victims of such human rights abuses and ensure that justice is meted out to whoever the perpetrators may be.
That's the wish of Mohammed Al-Hassan, founder of the Kayaya Youth Association. He says he receives more than 20 cases of violence against women weekly.
Sometimes we have 30, 40, 50 every week. And this sometimes rape, sometimes beating, sometimes accident.
All against women, or it's mixed?
It mixed, but mostly women. Mostly women.
What kind of support do you give to them?
Every week we call them, we organize them, give them education on these issues.
What has been happening to the perpetrators? Have they been arrested? Have they been prosecuted?
We have sent 2 men and they were jailed.
For Joy News, my name is Hannah Odame.
Now, government has secured a loan to help boost water supply facilities across the country. It will be used for projects aimed to reducing the water supply deficit in both rural and urban areas.
The national demand for urban water currently stands at about 260 million gallons per day. Last year, the national deficit was about 100 million gallons per day. Government intends to ensure that Ghanaians have access to potable water in the next 10 years. As part of this effort, government has secured a $48 million grant from the World Bank. Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing, Dr. Kweku Agyemang-Mensah, announced the beneficiary areas.
Even though we admit that there are limited challenges with the distribution network, this is being tackled. It is my pleasure to announce in this direction that the government has secured a $48 million grant from the World Bank to address this and other challenges in urban water delivery in Greater Accra metropolitan area. Under the Urban Water Project, which is funded by the World Bank, government is embarking on the rehabilitation of 20 water supply systems in 8 regions. This is to restore the water treatment plants to their installed capacities. The systems include Pando, Amfuega, Sovi, Nkonya, and Peki in the Volta region. Asamankase, Akim Ofuase, and Suhum in the eastern region, Bremen Sikuma and Dunkwao on Ofen in the central region, Aboso, Bogoso, Elubo, Exim, and Pristia in the western region, Aguna and New Edubiase in the Ashanti region, Brekum in the Bronga Hafo region, Tamale in the northern region, Boko in the upper east region, and Wa in the upper west region. As a result of all the interventions we have planned in the water sector, urban water coverage is expected to increase to 85% when all these projects have been completed by the end of the first term of His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama.
Government has also secured a loan of $75 million from the World Bank to improve access to potable water in rural areas under the Sustainable Rural and Water Sanitation Project.
Sustainable Rural Water and Sanitation Project. This project is funded by the government of Ghana with a loan of $75 million from the World Bank. The 5-year project is to improve access to water and sanitation for 600,000 people in the Upper West, Upper East, Northern, Brong-Ahafo, Central, and Western regions. The project is to provide 1,200 new boreholes, construct 40 limited mechanized water facilities, and 29 small town pipe systems in the 6 regions. The project will also rehabilitate 400 boreholes in the northern region. Work on the project, which is expected to be completed by June 2016, is about 90% complete.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break, but we have more stories coming up thereafter. Please don't go away. Right, you're watching Joy News Prime. Now, time now for some electricity issues. And you would have noticed over the last few days that the power situation has gotten increasingly worse, or has gotten worse actually in the last few days. So on Sunday it was really bad. On Monday it's got a bit better, but today it's getting a lot better. Now, the Power Ministry has issued a statement that says that Ghana Gas is to blame for the increased load shedding that we're experiencing, but the Ghana Gas has also come back to say that no, that can't be accurate. Now we have these two statements, and Francis Aban is going to take us through the statements. Good evening, Francis Aban. And Francis Aban is with the energy desk here at Joy News. So what's the first statement that came out? If you can just take it through.
Okay, so the Power Ministry statement signed by Kweku Sesa Johnson indicated that the current increase in the quantum of load shedding in the country has come about as a result of the shutdown of the Ghana National Gas Company at Atuabo to enable the African Middle East Investment AMERI, the power plant, to be connected onto the gas supply system of Ghana Gas, so they can help them power these plants that have been brought in from Dubai. Now, the AMERI plant at Abuazi currently being installed is expected to generate some 250 megawatts of power onto the National Interconnected Transmission System, NITS, when fully commissioned. Now, engineers with the Ghana National Gas Company and AMERI are working around the clock to complete the connection of the gas line and to ameliorate the recent further decline in the supply of power to the country. And they ask that we all bear with them with the situation that we have right now.
So this is typically a statement that shouldn't be a problem. It's just they're just telling us that we're having a bit of a problem, and so you're going to experience more load shedding or more dooms, or your situation is going to get a lot worse. Except Ghana Gas is not taking kindly to it.
Yes, because Ghana Gas is saying in this statement that for them they have not shut down. They have not. Rather, it's the VRA that requested that because they are connecting the AMERI plants onto the national grid for the supply of gas, they asked them to hold back for this week, the 22nd to the 27th, to do the connections onto the power. And just to read verbatim so people get a clear understanding of what I'm saying. The statement was signed by Alfred Ogbami, the communications manager at Ghana Gas. It says that the company wishes to correct an erroneous impression carried in a press statement issued by the Power Ministry today through its head, Kweku Sesa Johnson. And they wish to state the following. First, that the assertion that the current increase in load shedding in the country has come about as a result of the shutdown. And the second is also about the no contract regarding the ongoing installation works by AMERI. Now, these are the facts as presented by Ghana Gas. They're saying that, first, on the 12th of November 2015, they received a written request from the Water River Authority, an agency under the Power Ministry, to shut down its processing and supply of lean gas to enable it to connect the AMERI plant to its existing gas pipeline in the week of November 23 to 27, which is this week, Israel. So consequently, the Ghana Gas honored the request and shut down Atuabo yesterday to enable the VRA and the sector ministry to tie the armory plants onto the VRA facilities. The shutdown was therefore at the instance of the VRA, which claimed it had made adequate arrangement for light crude oil to power its Abuaze plant and avoid a shortfall in energy generation. Ghana Gas therefore finds the attempt by the Power Ministry to mislead the public on this matter disingenuous and unhelpful.
Which I find extremely, I mean, the word used there is quite strong.
You hardly see this happen.
Exactly, and there are two ministries, so or the two agencies all under government. Yes. There's the Ministry of Power on one hand, and the Ghana Gas also on the other. And you'd want to think that if there's a problem, they would deal at the ministerial level and let it end.
Or even rectify it within and sort it out, with us having this strong wording from the Ghana Gas company.
All right. So fortunately, though, my understanding is that the work that they were doing is done. They requested for this, so it's done. And so today, I'm told the situation is getting a lot better. But at the peak of it on Sunday, actually, they were shedding about 790 megawatts of electricity. And so you would have felt it in your homes that you were not getting enough power. You were staying in darkness for a lot longer. But thank you very much, Francis Aban, for joining us and bringing us some clarity to this issue.
Sure, sure.
You're still watching Joy News Prime, and on to the rest of our stories. The Supreme Court has ordered the Attorney General to file a statement of case against Justice Paul Utuderi within the next 7 days. Justice Derry is asking the court to declare Anas's petition against him null and void. Lawyer for Justice Derry, Ni Papo Ado, in an interview with Joy News after Tuesday's court hearing, said he's unhappy with the delay by the Attorney General.
It's not necessarily a field day. The issues that were at play were very simple. The Attorney General came to file a motion for extension of time. You know, we dealt with two matters today. We dealt with the principal matter dealing with the petition and the fact that we want the petition to be declared null and void on account of the publication in the media by the petitioner. So on that particular case, in which we are invoking the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, the court was very clear that the Attorney General should file their proposed statement of case. You know, at the Supreme Court, we don't file a statement of defense. We file what we call a statement of case. So the Attorney General is to file their statement of case within 7 days. So after the statement of case is filed, then we would have what we call a memorandum of issues. That is the issues that will be determined by the court to also be set down, and then we'll go into the merits of the case itself. The second matter had to do with an application that we have filed at the Supreme Court invoking the supervisory jurisdiction of the court in respect of prohibiting the trial judge at the sitting on the matters in the High Court. Our argument is that on account of certain things that have happened, we do not believe that the judge would give us justice in that said matter. So we are asking for an order for prohibition so that that judge will be changed. That matter is before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has ordered that the Attorney General, who is an interested party, should file their defense or affidavit in opposition to our motion within 7 days, because they had also brought an application for extension of time. So in both cases, the Attorney General has brought in application seeking for an extension of time for within which to file their proposed defenses and affidavits in opposition. Of course,
and the judges are not happy with the way the AG is asking for time.
Well, the court has expressed this opinion. I will not comment on the court's opinion. You know, you were in court, so you heard what the court said. Clearly, the court wishes that this matter is dealt with expeditiously, and we are also anxious that the matter is dealt with expeditiously because our clients' rights are involved. And once this matter is dealt with, then we can advise them on any other consequential steps that they may have to take.
In a related story, Justice Asare Ado, another one of the judges implicated in the judicial scandal, has filed a suit against Ana's entire PI for defamation. Lawyer Ni Papo Ado explains why he is leading Justice Asare Ado in court.
We've even filed a new writ in respect of the defamation. One of my clients, Justice Asare Ado, has filed a writ today in respect of the allegations that have been leveled against him by Tiger Eye. He has filed a writ against seven defendants, challenging the substance of the petition. Remember that most of the matters that we've brought have dealt with the procedure in which the matter has been handled. Now, one of the judges, who is my client, has filed a defamation suit challenging the facts and the allegations in that particular petition. And so he's affording the petitioner and other persons who have published or publicized the said petition to come forward in court and prove their case. And so I think we are in for very interesting times.
Why now?
Because this is the time that he chose to file it. Remember that if you look at Article 1462, the procedure by which you seek to remove the judge is of critical importance. So the very first steps that as a legal team we took was to deal with the matters of procedure. Now we are going into the matters of the substance. So once you have made allegations against me as having done A, B, C, and D, the law provides that just as you have activated processes, I also have the right to go to court for you to come and prove your allegations. So as it is now, my clients, namely Justice Isiadu, has filed a defamation suit in which he is requesting the petitioner to come to court and prove his allegations.
The presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Ghana, Most Reverend Titus Owoche Pratt, has described as unfortunate the corruption scandal in the judiciary. Bishop Owoche told Joy News that the problem is not peculiar to the judiciary because it could happen in the church as well. He is, however, hopeful the state institutions will get to the bottom.
I want to take your word on this latest scandal that has hit the judiciary, this corruption scandal that was exposed by Anas, Arimael Anas.
To err is human. It's a human institution, and if, as it happens also in the church, sometimes church personnel also falter. And it's all over the place. It's unfortunate it happened, but it's our prayer that we find solutions to such things and they shouldn't happen again.
That's the prayer of everybody, but the challenge also is that having gone through a bitter experience of election petition, and next year the country will be entering another election year, should there be any misunderstanding again and we'll have to resort to the court to seek justice to ensure that peace prevails, then that confidence, that trust to be able to approach the court has been dented. What do you think?
What I'll say is the National Council for Civic Education be well resourced to educate the citizenry, know our rights and responsibilities, and do the proper thing. We pray that this happens, and if it does happen, we'll have a peaceful election next year and we'll live in peace and tranquility.
We have a lot more stories coming up for you on Joy News Prime. We're taking another break. We'll be back in a bit. Three persons have been sentenced for stealing cables belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana. The three were arrested with aluminium conductors belonging to the ECG that had been cut into pieces ready for sale. Richard Kojunyako has more.
Yesterday at around 11:30, we got information from the Trifopraso Police Command that they've intercepted a group of 3 guys carrying materials suspected to belong to the Electricity Company of Ghana. So quickly, the district manager, ECG Trifopraso, was called to the district to confirm. So he realized that the material the guys were carrying were actually aluminum conductors used for electrification projects. We are a serious company. We are also saddled with financial difficulties. We are not even getting money to do extensions. The energy crisis also affected the company in a lot of ways. People are not paying bills. We have illegal connections also to struggle with. So what we would want to caution the public against is, please, they shouldn't go close to our installations. They shouldn't go close to our materials, because now ECG has a legislative instrument that gives us the power to prosecute. So when you are caught involved in any of such acts, you will be sent through the various processes to get you come before the law for prosecution. One ECG, we would want to urge the public to also cooperate with us. If you find anyone involved in any illegality, please report that person to ECG, and then we have a reward for anyone who gives us information that leads to somebody being apprehended.
Right, so that wasn't exactly a Kojunyako report, but staying in Cape Coast, Acting Inspector General of Police has led a delegation to the town following recent disturbances between the youth and the police. 2 people were killed in the violence, which was sparked after a police swoop to apprehend suspected criminals. Public Relations Director at the Ghana Police Service, Superintendent Cephas Arthur, said the police administration will investigate and punish officers found culpable.
Had discussions with them, commiserated with them, and they were happy that the IGP took time off his busy schedule to be here to meet with them. A lot of discussions were held, a lot of corporations have been lined up, and there is the assurance and promise of peaceful activities towards the funeral and cooperation. So that is what happened.
Well, so what have the families been telling you, the 2 families? What have they been telling you?
Oh, they've just narrated their side of the story, which the police are going to factor into their investigations, and what they expect from the police to do. They are expecting that the police conducts a thorough investigation into the case so that they can come up with the true facts behind the incident. That's all they've been telling them.
The IGP did mention the PIPs as the body that is going to investigate. Is that true?
That is so. The police, or the IGP also assured them of effective investigation into the incident so that they can get to the bottom of it. He mentioned the very fact that the PIPs have already been asked to come into action or go into action and investigate and do a very painstaking investigation into the incident. And then, after everything, if there's not something that the police, any action that the police should take against them internally, they will do so. If there's any criminal liability on the part of any police officer, then the person will face the court.
We're taking a break for business now. Please stay tuned. Right, time for business, and Abigail Adumakunchi has joined me. Good evening to you, Abigail.
Good evening, Israel.
All right, now ASAP has issues with ECG, and they're talking about inefficiencies.
Yes, and they are talking about utility tariffs as well. I mean, they are waging a campaign against, high utility tariffs. They are not for it. So, well, we'll talk a lot about ASAP today.
Yeah, right. You go ahead.
Sure. And Ghana's oil sector is heading for doom if Parliament continues to sign contracts with inexperienced oil companies. That is the warning coming from the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ASAP. Speaking at the Africa Oil and Gas Governance Summit, which entered its 2nd session today, ASAP says about 5 different companies government is engaged a few years ago are yet to produce any results.
I think they are experienced based on our own investigation and what GNPC and Petroleum Commission, then the Minister of Petroleum. Petroleum Commission is the technical body and regulatory body for the petroleum distance. So we rely first on them, and as Parliament, anybody who has concerns in respect is given the opportunity to come and present to Parliament. Not everybody is an expert in energy, so we rely on civil society organization. When there is a bill before us, you have your concerns, you have the right to write to us and come and prove to us that what you are doing will be this and that, and ASAP have been doing that a lot. So before we pass it, we give the opportunity to everybody to come.
Well, that was the Member of Parliament of the Select Committee on Mines, Adam Mutawakilu, who disagrees, maintaining that companies are competent. We'll hear from Dr. Amin Adam from ASAP on this particular issue.
After we made the discoveries and started commercial production, instead of attracting the majors, we are rather signing contracts with those that are less experienced than those who made the discoveries. And so the effect is that those companies are not even mobilizing and going to site. Now, if you have to award a contract, the first 2 considerations you make is the financial capacity of the firms and the technical competence or capacity of the firms, because you do not want them to waste your time. You do not want them to take the block and sell. If Ghana did that, which I call due diligence, How come that some of the companies, and I mentioned UB Resources, I mentioned Britannia U, I mentioned AGM, they are not working. Some of them are trying to sell. So I am worried about the future of Ghana's oil industry, because if we deplete the reserves, we are depleting now, and these companies we've signed new contracts with are not able to make discoveries, we will go up. Within a short period, we'll start to decline, and the future of that industry, the oil and gas industry, is under threat.
Now, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ASAP again, is waging a campaign against the proposed increase in utility tariffs by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC. The Executive Director of ASAP, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, says the move simply is a case of power producers passing on their inefficiencies to the consumer.
The last tariffs PURC did, that was, I think, in March 2015. Generation tariff was put around 9 cents per kilowatt hour. And I'm saying that this is way higher than the sub-Saharan average for generation tariff of 4 cents per kilowatt hour. Okay, but given that you have differences in the cost structure, you have differences because the generation mix is different. And this, I believe, is also tempered much more by South African generation. And so that may be why it is that low. But the difference is so high, and we must begin to question ourselves, why that variation? Are they doing certain things we are not doing? Secondly, when we're talking about tariffs, we usually compare that with the cost of generation of power. And I'm told that generation cost is between 15 cents to 20 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, if that is true, then I have a problem, because it is not cost effective. And this may be the result of the level of technical efficiency of the kind of generation plants that we have, because some of the plants that we have are not efficient technically, and the power is also not available. And so if you have an installed capacity but only 70% is available, and you plan your financial sustainability on your installed power, then of course you are going to be asking for higher tariffs with lower availability of power to achieve the same level of financial sustainability, and that is robbery. It's daylight robbery. And so I want to understand the context within which we are saying that tariffs are lower in Ghana.
We'll still stay on power issues, and Head of Energy, Oil and Gas at the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Joseph Kwejo Asenso, says the VRA and the ECG owes government after the two have accused government of indebtedness. Even though he could not quote a figure, he was emphatic that the two should be measured in the accusations, adding that it owes government.
There is a case to be made for cross-debt. Government has borrowed for ECG, government has borrowed for VRA. The reality is that government also owes ECG. That exercise is being done to net out what the real numbers are. Currently, we are paying ECG about 36 million Ghana cedis every quarter because some work has been done. As we work to finalize the 2014 and also the 2015 indebtedness. So it is not the case that it is only government which owes them. There are some elements of debt on their part as well, and that is being worked out.
Time now for some analysis on the stock, commodity and currency markets, and I have John here to do that. How are you, John?
I'm very good, Abigail.
Right, what's happening on the stock market first?
On the stock market, there's something spectacular happening.
Okay.
As only one equity traded today, and the trade happened to be Tallow Ghana. Okay, wow. It's been a long time Tallow traded. Tallow has been idle for almost about a year now, not trading. Okay, today it traded, and you know what happened? It traded negative. It lost almost about 4 cedis, 84 pesos. Wow. To close at 26 Ghana cedis. That is very significant to affect, because you know Tallow alone has almost about 56% of market capitalization of the Ghana Stock Exchange.
Yeah, that's big.
It means that if you divide the entire value of the market by 2, Tallow controls about half.
Right.
And they've lost about 4 Ghana cedis, almost about 5 Ghana cedis today. And that is very significant going forward.
The whole market
Good, you understand.
Yeah.
That is how it is. So anybody holding Tallow shares today has lost about 4 Ghana, almost about 5 Ghana cedis. So if you have about 1 million shares of tallow, do you know how much you're losing? A lot of money. That's exactly what is happening. But on the other side, at the commodity side, when we start looking at the mercantile estate, the commodities market, we're having some good news in there. Yeah, we're having some good news in there, in that cocoa, gold, and as usual, crude oil all have gained today. That's good news. Okay. Today, Tuesday, all gained today significantly. For example, cocoa gained almost about $32 to close at $3,338 per ton. That is very significant. Today, I was part of a meeting with the IMF and the IEA, all projecting some doom for this particular commodity. Exactly. Okay, for this particular commodity. So seeing this, I don't know whether it's actually projecting some hope for Ghanaians or not. Time will actually tell. But crude, cocoa, and gold really doing very good.
That's pretty
on
good.
The market. Exactly.
Now on the currency market,
on the currency market today,
to talk about?
We're seeing some depreciation of the cedi against the dollar, the British pound, and the euro. The Chinese yuan is still maintaining that momentum, like I said yesterday, still because of the fact that Ghanaians are still preparing to actually make some importations. So these are the times. But then the issue is that come next month, we'll be expecting to see more depreciation because the outlook is not that good. So basically, Abigail, that has been the market for today.
Okay, thank you very much, John. A mixture of things there. But tomorrow we'll hope for the best. That'll be all for business. My name is Abigail Adomako Entry. Israel Lai comes back with more news. Do stay.
Welcome back to Joy News Prime. Now, there was literally a giant killing in the Ningo Pram constituency with the defeat of the incumbent E.T. Mensah in the NDC primaries there over the weekend. The veteran MP, who has been a lawmaker for almost 2 decades, lost the NDC ticket for next year's election to a presidential staffer, Sam Nate George, who incidentally used to be his protege. Figures from the primaries indicate that veteran MP lost the election mostly in the Ningo side of the constituency where Mr. George hails from. Lord Asare has been to Ningo to find out possible reasons why they voted against the veteran MP.
This is Arim, the hometown of winner of the NDC primaries in Ningo Pram, Sam George. Now, there seems to be a very sharp contrast between Pram and Ningo, especially here at Arim. Now, the people here, their main source of livelihood is farming, and some of them are fisher folks. Now, on our way here, the roads were so bad, my waist is still hurting. People are gathered here because they are in a jubilant mood. And then earlier you may have seen that they were carrying a coffin, and it's supposedly supposed to be E.T. Mensah. They are burying him because they said they are tired of the way they have been living for the past 19 years. According to them, he has not done much for them, and that's why they are ousting him as their NP.
Sam George is coming from here. That's where he's coming from. That is his hometown. And during the campaign, E.T. has been insulting him that he's from Nigeria. He doesn't have a house. And the people here he's angered us. That's why we voted for him, to show that he's from this place.
I see. But what about development? What do you think the achievements of E.T. Mensah is?
You can see yourself. What can you see? There is nothing here. Since he's here, he was here. He's an MP for almost 19 years. Look at, there's no development. The people here, you will complain, you don't have anything to do. The farming too. When you go to the farming season, he will come and promise them, he will come and give them tractors to do their farming. He will not come. It's only election style that you will see me here, but after the elections, you don't see him. So there's no development here. You don't have anything here.
He has not been performing his duties. Because he did not bring in job here. Our roads are still there. We some people, we are suffering because we complete SSN, we don't find any job to do. We are lacking here. That's why we want to change him. We are lacking so many things here.
So in his almost 19 years of serving the people of Ningo Pram, are you saying that he has not achieved anything at all?
No, he came to do the road for us. But as you can see, the road is not very good. He did the road like 2 months, 3 months in. Have you seen how the road has become? So meaning they don't do any proper thing here. The road, they don't even construct it very well. So as we can see, you can see it for yourself. The potholes, when we are going to Old Ningo, we suffer a lot. But you know where he's staying at Pram Pram. Have you seen how he's doing the road over there? So we are suffering here. That's why we want to change him. So that maybe when different person come to this town, maybe we can achieve something better. That's why we want to change him.
Now, the MP for Ningo Pram Pram Itimens has dismissed claims that he did little to bring development to the constituency. In his first interview since his defeat in the NDC primaries, Mr. Mensah said he lost because his supporters were largely intimidated. He also suggested the elections might have been rigged, though he tells Joy News he has no intentions of challenging the results.
This is Arim, the hometown of winner of the NDC primaries in Ningo Pram Pram, Sam George. Now, there seems to be a very sharp contrast between Pram Pram and Ningo, especially here at Arim. The people here, their main source of livelihood is farming, and some of them are fisher folks. Now, on our way here, the roads were so bad, my waist is still hurting. People are gathered here because they are in a jubilant mood. And then earlier you may have seen that they were carrying a coffin, and it's supposedly supposed to be Iti Mensah. They are burying him because they said they are tired of the way they have been living for the past 19 years. According to them, he has not done much for them, and that's why they are ousting him as their NP.
You can't, unless he retracts that and apologizes to the world that this place wasn't what it is when I came here. So my issue is simple, what I've told you. If he believes that there's a legacy that he's coming to, granting that if he wins the general election, well, this is not, he hasn't won the general election yet, nobody has sworn him in as a member of parliament yet. If he's able to win and he wants assistance, he needs to apologize to me, my person, and everybody, and all the insults, the invectives. There were times I know, each time he goes on his morning shows, he'll sort in the window. Ningo Pram Pram people said they are tired, you haven't done anything for them, you know.
Right, we do apologize for the mix-up there, but we're taking a break. We'll be back with more. 3 losing aspirants in the NDC primaries are heading to court to challenge the election results. Member of Parliament for Afram Plains, Aboagye Didier, is contesting the results of primaries held in his constituency due to what he describes as improper handling of the voting process by the Electoral Commission. Aboagye Didier lost his bid to return to Parliament on the ticket of the NDC in 2016 after losing to a former deputy coordinator of the Ghana Youth Employment and Entrepreneurial Development Agency, JADA. An aspirant in the Guma East constituency, Theophilus Ampa, is also challenging the verdict of the polls conducted in his constituency. He is accusing the Electoral Commission of allowing persons whose names did not exist on the register to vote in the elections over the weekend. In the Mion constituency in the northern region, defeated aspirant Mawuya Zakaria is also in court over allegations his results in one of the constituencies was swapped with that of the eventual winner of the polls. He is seeking a recount of the ballots after losing out to Mohammed Abdul Aziz. Meanwhile, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the ruling NDC, Niade Koka, says the party has begun a review of the just-ended primaries and will be looking to address concerns raised by Itimens and several others. He says the party has also set up a conflict resolution committee to address other grievances. Right, it's time for what's coming up on Joy News Interactive.
You're going to say the tease, aren't you? Well, let me tell you what's coming up. I have a question. Whose fault? Ghana Gas says it's not responsible for you not having lights. I'll be taking your comments, but you've also been telling us how bad Doomso has gotten for you.
We never have lights. We never have light. It's very, very bad. It's very, very pessimist. Some people have light 24 hours, 3 days in a row, and then we have light 6 hours in a day. You can confirm. When you call ECD, they tell you we are working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah, so she never has light. But Who needs a party when people are living in filth? Well, definitely not Tanzania. The new president has scrapped Independence Day celebrations so Tanzanians can clean up. Would that solve Ghana's own dirty story if we're to adopt it? I'll be telling you what people are saying when I come back within the hour. Israel.
All right, so certainly you have to make a date for Akwa Singh, who's coming back within the, but also coming up, we have entertainment, we have sports in the second. Please stay tuned, we're back in a bit. Watching Joy News Prime Time now for a recap of our top stories. The Power Ministry has blamed Ghana Gas for increased load shedding in recent days, but Ghana Gas says the ministry got it wrong. Some losers in the weekend primaries of the National Democratic Congress are heading to court to challenge the results. The party says it is looking into their grievances, even as it considers a review of the entire process. Meanwhile, the veteran MP for Ningo Pram, who was defeated in the weekend's contest, is demanding an apology from the winning candidate, Sam George, if he is to respond favorably to his overtures. In business, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ASAP, is warning Ghana's oil sector is heading for doom if Parliament continues to sign contracts with inexperienced oil companies. And the Inspector General of Police has visited Cape Coast following recent disturbances which resulted in the death of 2 people. Now, the Mampong Technical College of Education has been closed down. This follows threats that some students had threatened to burn down the school after they were failed in some exams. Correspondent Erastus Asare Donko of Lava Firm in Kumasi joins me with more on the line. Good evening to you, Erastus. Tell us more about this story.
Well, Israel, the whole story revolves around application for to enter the Mampong Technical College of Education. Now, students are saying that before they applied, there were options to choose, and that is if you want to offer a general course or you want to offer a mathematics course, an elective mathematics course. And they all are saying that many of them are not too good with mathematics, and so they offered to do the general course. And so when they came to the school, now management is saying that compulsorily the affiliate university, that is UCC, is asking them to do elective mathematics compulsory. And many of them are trailing the paper. About 270 students have trailed the paper and they've been referred. Now, they are saying that it's either you repeat Form 1 or you rewrite the paper and pass. If you fail, you are going home. And this has angered many of the students. And so yesterday, they felt that the students were going to demonstrate because 2 of them threw stones into some louver blades and broke about 19 of them. And so they've asked all the students to go home until a later date.
All right, thank you very much, Erastus Asare Donko. Well, 4 suspects in the murder of NPP sympathizer Abubakar Sadiq have been remanded for 2 weeks. The Asawase constituency chairman Isaac Brenya, who is one of the suspects in the case, did not show up in court for the second time. Lava Firm's Prince Sapia was in court and joins us with more from Kumasi. Good evening to you, Prince. What happened in court today? Hello, Prince, if you can hear me. What happened in court today?
Yes, Steve. Today in court, all 3 persons, accused persons who came to court last time the court was in session were in court today. I should say that there was another person who was added to court today. His name is Bawa Musa, who had been on the wanted list of the police in Ashanti region for a long time. Part of those who, according to the police, chased Abubakar and ambushed him and stabbed him to death. So he was one of those who had been, and lo and behold, he had been arrested and was also in court today. these 4 persons, after the session was over about an hour, the judge, Oko Pichang, stated that these people should be remanded into prison custody. But for one of them, Wasila Gariba, who is the women's commissioner of Asawase constituency, she pleaded that because she is sick, the court should, temper justice with mercy, and that according to the defense counsel of these people, she should be allowed, she should be given bail. But the judge refused that and only, remanded her to police custody instead of prison custody. So the 3 of them, whose names I have here, the constituency youth organizer, Issa Usman, women's organizer, I stated just now, Wasila Gariba, Bawa Musa, and Al-Hassan Isa. All these 4 persons have been remanded into prison custody. But I should say that a lot of party faithfuls were their friends, sympathizers of these people were there. They were very much worried. Most of them were even weeping. Others were crying because they felt that these people are innocent and they are being held behind bars for so long a time. They want them. They were actually disappointed that their lawyers couldn't, get them bail so they could come back home. So this is some of the things that ended up in court. I should say that the head of legal and prosecution at the Ashanti Regional Police Command, Emmanuel Akono, was explaining that today, for instance, they have to consolidate all the charges because the 3 of them who came to court earlier, the youth organizer, the women's organizer, and Mr. who is just a member of the party, they had their charges on one, and then Bawa Musa, who came in today, was also charged on one sheet. So the 2 were supposed to be put together, and that was what was done today. The 2 were put together, and then both of them were charged with murder together.
Right, that was Love Prince Sapia bringing us that update from Kumasi. Now, going back to our earlier story where the MP for Ningo Prampram Itimensa has dismissed claims that he did little to bring development to the constituency. In his first interview since his defeat in the NDC primaries, Mr. Mensah said he lost because his supporters were largely intimidated. He also suggested the elections might have been rigged, though he tells Joy News he has no intentions of challenging the results.
I'm here at the Ningo Prampram constituency where the MP is Honorable Iti Mensah. Behind me is the residence of his mother, and occasionally he comes here. But I'm going to find out from him how he's taking the whole loss. There was lots of drama leading to the elections and the aftermath. He's going to tell me everything about it. Let me just go in there and find out if he will speak to me at all.
People were also buzzed, lest me forget, were buzzed on Sunday from Ashaima. 3 Metro mass buses. We had a hint that he went and created the confusion that he created on Saturday so that he would not come on. Because the people that he needed to come here were also voting on that same day.
Where were they being bussed from?
They bussed them from Ashaima.
Wow.
When I finish, you can talk to some of the guys here who know what I'm talking about. And then they took them to his place, to Ayam, and then to Lepoguno. Because Ayam is a place where, village where, around this time, most of the fishermen have gone out fishing. They go for about 1 week, 2 weeks, sometimes a month and come.
Okay.
So there was no way, if they had gone through the thing rigorously based on the register, could have got 10% of what he got.
Wow.
Yes.
So in effect, or in summary, the entirety of the thing is that the register which was used was tampered with. It wasn't genuine.
It wasn't tampered with per se. I mean, there were so many people whose names were not in. So many people, whether genuine or not. I mean, if there were tanker hitches, yes, we can, take that. But people went and they flipped through because it was like the people who were working had been compromised. They look at us and flip through. I'll say, yeah, when you say, oh, please, why don't you tell it like, yeah, I'll say, no, your name is on, come on, get out.
Wow.
And that also happened all through. I don't think that, there's a need for me to go through any protests. I don't think I'm going to lodge official complaints or whatever. Well, my supporters have been saying that I don't want to. It's not life and death affairs for me. I've been in Parliament almost 20 years.
But you see, in the areas that the voters register, there are multiple voting, and some you set an example where the total number of people there were about 800, and then you got 1,000+ votes. Aren't you going to
400 to that over 400?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to contest it, because it means that it has obviously marred the actual results?
It has marred the actual results, but people have been asking I should contest. What for?
Comparatively, Pram and Ningo. I mean, when I was coming, I realized that the roads here are, relatively better than that of Ningo. Would you say that comparing the livelihoods of Pram and Ningo, those at Ningo may be experiencing some kind of shortfalls, and that's why they did this?
Well, they've been voting for me all along. But if I take you through what I have done, you don't have time. I have them captured. I can give you the city to go and watch. I've been even-handed based on what I've done. I mean, it is him who came and started playing. Then he go card, because that is the only thing. Because he had no record to, operate on.
Watching Joy News Prime, we're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you entertainment.
Entertainment news is brought to you by...
Right, it's time for entertainment. The Miss G is here. Good evening to you, Miss G. All right. How are you doing?
Very well, very well, very
okay.
well. All right, so there's been a lot happening. Let's start with...
After our exciting interview with Reggie Mboli yesterday.
Of course. So here in Ghana, some weeks back, Shatawale came out to say that, he was done working with Bulldog. Bulldog wasn't a good manager. He couldn't even get him to sign a contract because it was bigger than Bulldog's brand and company and all that. Yesterday, whilst we were here, Bulldog was in the studios of Hits FM. Now, he was talking a lot of things, but one of the things he said was the fact that he said Shatawale is the guy he loved. He wasn't bothered about signing a contract with him. Well, he thinks that even if it was a verbal contract between them, it's still a contract. So the business between he and Shatawale is their business.
Hate Shatawale. I don't hate him. I love him. The business between me and Shatawale is between me and Shatawale. Contract or no contract, it doesn't make any difference. When I have a contract with you or have a contract with an artist, it's my business. It's not your business.
Well,
he's been quite matured about it.
Very discreet about a lot of things he was asked. He says, if I can answer, I'll answer them. If I can't answer, I won't answer. That's Bulldog for you. But, he still could manage a dance. Guess which was Shatawale's song he danced to?
Shatawale, I come like a guy. Shatawale, come like a guy. We come to the like a guy. Shatawale, come like a guy. Forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever.
I'm imagining how Shatawale will be taking all of that.
And this is the latest Shatawale song, Kakai. That's what the song is called. But let's talk about Azuma Nelson. It's a long time you've heard from him, sure.
Yeah.
But this time around, he was at Asamajan's 30th birthday party. And he's been talking about his favorite song at the moment. Guess which song? Another guess. You got that right.
Everybody loves Telimo.
Oh, you're a very big fan of Gasman.
We Kaklayo.
Oh, okay, I thought you continued.
No, I can't sing. It's the song somewhere. It kind of like goes. It's similar to this song by. This is artist. No, not Atom. No. This artist, Jata.
Jata Biole, Adani Best.
You know, there's some similarities there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe it's the rhyming of the song.
It has about the same thing.
Okay.
That you've gotten. So you've gotten a cub, and you're breeding a cub. And the cub is going to grow into a lion and probably may devour you.
Okay,
so you've gone to get yourself a woman who...
Oh, is an iron lady, Kakulayo. Anyway, you know, Reggie Stone has been talking to the fact that he thinks that D-Crime is the best person to join the prior group, which has just Prior Tietia and Prior Tintin without Choir Master. He thinks that if D-Crime joins the group will not be perfect together and there'll still be three, and so it would be great to have them, you know, work together. But D-Crime says no, he won't have any of that. He would only join them for a collaboration, but he will not leave his own, being a solo artist, he will not move away from being a solo artist to join the group Prior. So D-Crime says no, he's not joining Prior.
But come to think of it, I mean, they could work together quite well.
No, he says if it's a collaboration, fine. But to join them, to be together with them, and now become D-Crime Prior, no.
No, but just like VIP is now VVIP after Reggie Stone joined.
Don't you think it's the reason Reggie is fronting this, you know, because he moved from being a solo artist, joining VVIP.
He's giving
wants another example.
D-Crime some ideas. D-Crime
says he appreciates that Reggie thinks that he's good enough to join the group, but he'd rather be alone.
All right.
Now, let's talk ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend stuff. Juliet Ibrahim, our own Juliet Ibrahim, you know, she was married before she divorced the Kantanka's son, Kojo Kantanka, and now she got entangled with Nigerian Ike Ogbonna. She has a song with the guy, actually. And recently, the guy got married, and people have been asking, so what happened? Yes, Imnyanya got an ambassadorial role. He is now an ambassador for Cross River State in Nigeria. You know, he's actually from Calabar. That's the capital of Cross River State. And now he's been made an ambassador for the state. They haven't stated clearly what his job is. But now they tell us that he's going to get a monthly salary and he has a car, you know, branded car to say that he's an ambassador of Cross River State.
Well, in Nigeria, getting you a car is not such a big deal.
You know, but people are complaining because apparently in Cross River State, the governor of Cross River State is finding it difficult to pay people, civil servants in that state. So they don't understand how he makes Inyanya an ambassador.
Well, if Inyanya comes in, probably he's going to bring in so much more that there's going to be so much money that they can now pay the civil servants.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Star power.
And maybe that's going to work for Cross River State. Maybe that's. And then Two-Face Dibia, your own Two Baba. He's been made chief of Kaduna State. He's been made chief. Yes.
What are
So Nigerians are doing a lot of, you know, great things. You're honoring your stars. So to Ambrose and Mr. Ibu, and then what's his name, Ali Baba. Now let's start the story.
Okay, hold on. What does Amber Rose have to do with
Mr. Ibu, and then Ali Baba? Now, you know, these days, we, the young folks, we get very, very trendy on social media.
Yep.
And so Amber Rose picks a picture of a man that she thinks that is a sugar daddy she would like to date.
Okay.
Against a sugar daddy who likes to date her. And unfortunately or fortunately, the sugar daddy who she would like to date is some nice hunk, you know, and the one who keeps chasing after her is a picture of Mr. Ibu. Apparently, she didn't know who he was, but she just picked those pictures at random and posted on her Instagram page. Now, Ali Baba, who is a comedian in Nigeria, will have none of that and thinks that it's derogatory to say that about a star in Nigeria, and says people like Amber Rose are people who you can't say anything good about. No man will want to have a daughter like her, and of course, the men who want to come after her will be men like her type. He compares her to Oprah Winfrey and says that Oprah has impacted the world, and so men will want to go for her. Guess what Mr. Ibu did.
Oh.
Mr. Ibu, in all this controversy, just comes, posts the picture back and says, you define me. I am here if you want to date me. Can you imagine? You know, so it makes a whole, you know, mess out of all that Ali Baba has said, you know, it puts the man to shame, you know.
But how,
even though he was
how come Amber Rose ended up settling on those photos?
You know, it was just pictures she picked at random, because if you follow the trends, actually people had to tell her that, you don't know this man, this is Mr. Ibu from Nigeria. She didn't know who he was. According to her, she didn't know who he was. So unfortunately, some prank going bad. But I think Mr. Ibu enjoyed it. He just said that,
well, yeah,
he defined me.
Yeah.
I'm here if you want to date me, you know. The sugar daddies that come after her, you know, I'm here. So if you want to come after me, I'm here.
No, you're not opening, soliciting invitations.
I just did. From you, actually.
Or from me. Well, yeah, you got me already.
Yeah, I got you already.
Yeah,
I need someone else.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. G, for bringing us entertainment. And that's it for entertainment. We have sports coming up right after this. Please don't go away.
Entertainment news.
All right, time for sports, and Gary Al Smith is here. Good evening to you, Gary.
Hi.
Right, what's coming up on sports?
Well, Transparency International have spoken.
About?
They say the GFA is one of the most financially unaccountable FAs in the world.
Yeah, right. They didn't want to use the word corrupt?
Well, they just stopped short because per the criteria they used, they couldn't say that they were corrupt. They were just saying that
financially
unaccountable. So they are saying that there are only about 14 FAs in the whole world who make it a point to inform the citizens of what they use the money FIFA gives them for. And GFA is among the many, many in the world who do not do that. And they were singled out as being one of the worst run FAs in Africa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's the big one.
How's the FA taking all of that?
Well, the FA, well, I know from, you know, asking around that they are going to issue a statement. However, if they want my free advice, they should just keep quiet. Because when this is not Anna speaking that you can come and, you know, show your blaster. Transparency International is a big deal. So yeah. That's
right. Anyway, carry it on.
Right. The GFA won't take my advice, but I can give you the news. And the news, like I have said, is that the Football Association has been said to be amongst one of the most financially unaccountable in the world. And according to a report by Transparency International. So Ibrahim Sanidara has responded to their findings. He says that the findings do not hold water.
Well, it is a worry for us that they did not do a thorough job. If Transparency International wants to do a thorough job, it has a local office. If it has a local office, you say, for instance, you say you checked on our website, you did not see it, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So can you tell me that we don't have the GFA Code of Conduct? We do have. Do we have, for your information, the Ghana Football Association is a company limited by guarantee, according to the laws of Ghana. And those laws don't, as they also admitted in their reports, that many countries that they contacted here said that the laws of their country doesn't permit them to publish their financials. If they would have done a thorough job, they have a local office. They should have asked their local office to contact us or to even find out. We held our annual congress just some few days ago. Our financials were made available to you, the media, at the congress grounds. We have code of conduct. You say we don't have. So if you use this standard to judge it, you've done a shoddy job.
So that's Ibrahim Sanidara speaking there. And it's the major story on myjoyonline.com. So if we can scroll up to see what it says, it's a very big deal because in some of the big international media houses, it's also headlining. The report says that the Ghana FA is amongst the most opaque in the world when it comes to transparency of its operations. And the Global Anti-Corruption Agency says most of the FIFA's 209 member associations publish little or no information about how they spend millions of dollars from FIFA. And the study also sheds light on what it says is the potential for corruption. So it's important for us to say that you may have seen reports that Transparency International says the GFA is corrupt. It has not said it is corrupt. It only says there is the potential. And if we go up, let's go up. Yes, it says 81% of FAs have no financial records publicly available. So what Transparency is advocating is that there should be more openness. So you can see this story in its entirety on myjoyonline.com/sport. And also that was Ibrahim Sani Dara's official reaction. We are told that the FA will issue an official response somewhere tomorrow. Speaking of local football authorities, and the Premier League board has been advised to come clear on the resumption of the league. You know that the previous league season was won by Ash Gold. However, we are not too sure if the December date that was mooted by certain FA officials will come to fruition. And speaking about this issue, the GFA Technical Director, Francis Otiakintin, says that things should be done openly and quickly.
We started way back almost about a month ago, and you know, the T's and the dots are almost concluded now. The clubs involved have also received their invitational letters, and I think almost all of them have responded, with the exception of one. But we talk on phone, and they've accepted also coming. And I think we are set now, very set now, because preparation in Takoradi 2 is up very well. Touch on the sponsorship that we're almost through with it. It's very difficult. Looking at the timing, and then no corporate entity will be accepting such competitions around the time, having closed their budget. Even the National Treasury closes at 15th December. And so it tells you that everybody might have finished with everything that is. But I think we're grateful to the advisors we had who were able to break through to this deal, and we are grateful to them. And it's difficult. It's difficult. Financial-wise, it's very difficult.
Right, so as you may have figured, about 15 seconds into the queue, this is not Francis Otiakintin. His name is Johnny Shen, and he's actually one of the officials of the Ghana League Clubs Association, GALCA. Now, what he was talking about is that GALCA are close to completing deals to stage this year's GALCA flagship tournament in Takoradi in the Western region. This year, it's not going to be a top 4, it's going to be a top 6. And so what you just heard him saying was outlining the difficulties and also the good gains they have made in making that event successful so far. But about that earlier story on Francis Otiakintin, we can now see the GFA Technical Director speak about the issues I raised.
If you don't even know the date when the league starts, and then you commence your preseason, I think it's a worry. It's a very big worry, because we had this problem last season when a team like Kotoko, you saw it affected them a lot. They started their preseason, and we have categories from the preseason, from the preparatory. You have to go to the pre-competition. That is when you have to be playing your friendly matches. After you have done, you might have done all your physical work. You need to do some technical aspect a little bit, then your tactical play, and then you psych the boys up or the girls up before you are able to get into your friendly matches. And then out of the friendly matches, you'll be able to know so many things, you sum them up, and then when you get to the competition proper, you'll be able to deliver very good thing to happen again. Other than that, it's a problem. How you don't even know when the league is going to commence, and then you've started your preseason. Coach.
More news coming up in Europe is the Champions League. Several storylines, including the fact that Barcelona only needed a draw against Roma to go into the next stage. And so we have the current results there. They needed a draw, but they are already 3-0 up, taking off from where they left off against Real Madrid. Full-time, Bate Borisov 1-1 by Leverkusen. Also half-time, Arsenal, who need to win their next 2 games to have any chance of getting out of Group F, are leading 2-0 against Dinamo Zagreb. And Bayern, as you can expect, on the cusp of half-time, are leading by 3-0 against Olympiacos. Bayern definitely will go through. However, if Olympiacos don't win and Arsenal beat them, Arsenal go through. FC Porto also losing at home against Dynamo Kiev, and Maccabi Tel Aviv, who have 0 points in Group G, are losing against Chelsea, who need to win. Zenit St. Petersburg are also up by 2-0 against Valencia. Zenit are already top of Group H, I must say, and Lyon are also drawing 1-1 with Ghent. So away from the Champions League now to international boxing, and David Haye, remember him, the man who fought Klitschko the last time and went for a break, says that he's waiting and he's about to get back into the ring, but he wants Klitschko. Don't forget that Klitschko will be fighting Tyson Fury this weekend, and David Haye, whose record is not extremely stellar, feels that he must go through the motions, get a couple of fights, and then fight Klitschko. David Haye wants Klitschko. Will he get him? Time will tell. That's time for me to leave now on the sport. You can get more on myjoyonline.com/sport. Alternatively, head over to Twitter. Use our hashtag JoySports. Same on Facebook. My name is Gary L. Smith.